Gentleman yields. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Nebraska, Mr. Bacon, for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to honor May 15th as Peace Officer Memorial Day and May 14th through the 20th as Police Week. I stand in support of those who put their lives on the line day in and day out for the protection of those within the state of Nebraska and all over the United States. My district is home to 2 sheriff offices, a large urban police force, numerous community police departments, the Nebraska State Patrol, and a handful of federal agencies. They have unique differences in their responsibilities, yet they are strikingly similar in how they function. The different shapes of the badges they wear on their chests proudly proclaims their distinct alliance to their home agency, but it is also a symbol that binds them all together into one brotherhood. These gallant law enforcement professionals are driven to serve the public of their jurisdictions. They protect the life, limb, and property in their assigned patrol areas during their long hours for which they have this solemn duty. To those on the front line of our safety, it is not about the pay, the hours, or the conditions they work in. What is of importance to them is the satisfaction of making the world better and a safer place. They are the thin blue line that stands between us and some of the darkest parts of our society. When one of these brave individuals put on the uniform and departs their home for the streets, they're not worried about their own safety. They know their fellow officer has their back when needed. At great personal sacrifice, they are pained by the missing of the baseball games or the recitals of beloved children, the birthdays, the holidays that they've worked instead of being home with their families. I, like so many other members of the military, have a very personal connection and appreciation for those who serve this profession. I spent nearly 30 years in the military, and much of that time was deployed with combat forces protecting our freedoms overseas. The men and women in the military uniform depend on those back home in the blue uniform. Like so many others in the military, when I was overseas, I left my wife and children in the U.S., and as a 5-time former commander, I can tell you that the fastest way to negatively affect a soldier, a sailor, airman, or Marine within a combat situation was to have them worry about their families back home. Our great police officers allow the military to be a success. I'm in awe with the dedication that each officer displays daily. When our military is reunited with their family after a deployment, they can relax knowing their fellow public servants provide a shield of protection. This is a profession that takes a different type of individual, someone who is consistently putting their lives on the line, someone that I have always looked up to a group of individuals that I cannot thank enough for the blanket of security they provide. Now, there are a number of law enforcement community who serve, retire, and move on with their lives. Eventually, they go home, lay down their badge in retirement, but they will no longer miss those family functions and events. These professionals have the gratitude of the constituents of my district, and I want to thank them for their dedication to protect and serve. I would like to honor some of these courageous people who have long distinguished careers who recently retired. They are Sergeant Joe Eaton from the Sarpy County Sheriff's Office, 38 years and retired. Sergeant Troy Kister, Omaha Police Department, 29 years and retired. Captain Kevin Picorni, La Vista Police Department, 32 years and retired. Deputy Stephanie Squires, Sarpy County Sheriff's Office, 32 years and retired. Sergeant Don Voss, Sarpy County Sheriff Office, 39 years and will soon retire. And Deputy Dennis Yeaman, Douglas County Sheriff Office, 42 years and retired, and still serving, nearing retirement. I want to thank these officers and all others for their service and sacrifice. And before I yield, Mr. Speaker, I just want to say I'm often asked, as a 30-year retired military officer, to pay tribute to our law enforcement and to compare. And what strikes me is I used to operate or train in the safety of home, but we would deploy into harm's way. Our law enforcement every single day put themselves in harm's way. So we love our law enforcement, we respect them, and we thank them. Mr. Speaker,